Now looking at our three-part kidney model, we're going to start with the kidney. And the renal cortex is this layer here, this outer layer. The renal medulla is this layer with the pyramids and the columns. The pyramids are these triangle shapes. They end in the renal papilla, which is this point. The renal columns are in between the pyramids. The renal pyramids basically empty into, or the renal pyramids basically end at the papilla, and the papilla points into the minor calyces. Okay. Where minor calyces merge, we become major calyx. The major calyces kind of taper into the renal pelvis. The renal pelvis comes out and then tapers off into the ureter. If we look at the blood supply, we have the renal artery coming in. It branches into segmental arteries, which becomes interlobular arteries. The interlobular arteries go and feed the arcuate arteries. And branching off the arcuate arteries are the cortical radiate arteries. Now, not shown on here are the cortical radiate veins, but the cortical radiate veins would drain into this arcuate vein, which then becomes interlobular vein, and the interlobular vein drains into the renal vein. If we come to the middle section, which is an enlargement of our nephron, we have the renal corpuscle, which would be the glomerulus and the glomerular capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule, the nephron loop, the descending limb and ascending limb, distal convoluted tubule, which empties into the collecting duct. Over here we can see some of the blood supply where we see the arcuate artery and vein. Here's the cortical radiate artery and the cortical radiate vein. The cortical radiate artery is going to branch off into afferent arterioles, which feed blood into the glomeruli, and then afferent arterioles that drain them. If we come over here to our renal corpuscle, we have the afferent arteriole bringing blood into the glomerulus. On the glomerulus, in this part, we can see the podocytes that make up the visceral layer of the glomerular capsule. This layer of simple squamous epithelium would make up the parietal layer of the glomerular capsule. And here we have the afferent arteriole that would drain the blood out of the glomerulus. The glomerular capsule drains into a proximal convoluted tubule. And up here we can see a distal convoluted tubule that comes up close to the glomerulus.